Hello, and welcome to Nerds with Dice, and welcome to Candela Obscura, Mr. Nightfall, this lovely one-shot. I am Emma. I will be your game master for this evening, and I have been joined with three absolutely wonderful players, who I will now ask to go around and briefly introduce themselves, starting with Zoop.
Hi, I'm Zoop or Supriya. You can find me at Zoop Machine wherever you want to look, including I have a card that sometimes says where I'm going to be. And right now I am here and I am playing Sandhya Banerjee, who is a magician.
Phenomenal. Taylor.
Hey, I'm Taylor, aka Spunky Taylor. She, her pronouns, but I'll be playing tonight is Johnny Mellows. He, him pronouns, who is an explorer. Yeah.
Yeah. And finally, Gina.
Hey, I'm Gina. That's she, her. I will be playing April Christensen, who is a detective. Also she, her. So,
Yay. And Nerds with Dice, wonderful channel. Many things streaming, both past that you can find and backlogged and coming up in the future. We also have merch. You can find those links in the chat or by going to Nerds with Dice on Twitter. And now, without further ado, we will go ahead and, if everybody is feeling ready, we will jump into this lovely one shot. All right. In the city of New Fair, late at night, a night right prior to the weekend, people are streaming off to distant streets of the affluent neighborhood of Briar Green. We move away from bustling taverns and the chatter of happy patrons and students excited to be freed from their classes, and move over to a park, dimly lit, that runs down the center of part of this metropolitan campus. And we see partway down the thoroughfare, sitting on a bench, smoking, there is a woman. She's enveloped by sort of this cloud of smoke, and we can see just the little ember of her cigarette glowing in the light. And she is sitting cross-legged on this park bench, just kind of staring around her absent-mindedly. There's nobody else particularly in view. She's wearing clothing that's nice, a nice suit jacket with some tails. Looks like perhaps she's somebody who teaches or works at the nearby university. And all around her, tall trees are looming. The iron fence of the park glints with a bit of moonlight in the near distance. And the young woman takes one last inhale and then drops her cigarette to the ground and rubs a hand over her face, gets up, and starts to walk down the path further into the park. We linger behind her with her hands in her pockets as she wanders down the path of gravel, heading towards a stone monument that marks the halfway point of this thoroughfare. It looks like it's made of a selection of intertwining spikes, almost corkscrewing up into the sky. And as we follow behind her, we watch her grow smaller and smaller in comparison as she gets closer and closer to this tall shard of stone, almost as if it's trying to swallow her up into the night. She gets to the base of the monument and then she stops, kind of leans against it, her shoulders relax. But she isn't there for more than a moment or two before her brow furrows and she looks back the way she came, back in the direction of us, the viewer. And we can see that someone else is walking slowly down the path. It's a figure wearing a perfectly tailored jet black suit and a neat black tie, and there's a top hat that's perfectly balanced right atop their head. And nothing is particularly unusual about this, but as the figure gets closer and closer, the woman realizes that nothing is visible beneath the top hat. There should be features or a shape or skin or eyes, but there's just an absence, a strange kind of void of shadow that almost seems to suck in light. And this woman stands frozen as the figure gets closer and closer. There seems to be a wind cascading around it almost, and flower petals blow out of its pockets, purple petals that drift through the air, and one brushes the nose of the woman briefly, and she kind of blinks reflexively and bats it away. And then when she opens her eyes again, it's gone, and nothing is there. She stays frozen for a moment or two and then kind of lets the tension release. And we see it creep out of her shoulders, and she rolls her eyes a little bit and goes searching in her jacket pocket for the box of cigarettes again. And as she searches for them in irritation, we can see what she doesn't, which is from behind her down the remaining stretch of path, something long and spindly reaching out of the shadows like an arm, and then another and another and another, and then dozens of these long appendages reach out, and just as the woman pulls out a cigarette, she is yanked backwards, and the box drops to the ground with a little puff of dust in the gravel. And there is nothing left but silence. We move from there to the next morning, several neighborhoods away in the city of New Fair, in the bustling and busy area of the Seidel. People are rushing back and forth, making their way from the train station to their jobs or their engagements. It is the start of the weekend, and it is approximately 9:50 in the morning. Now, all three of you, individuals who have been contacted or recruited by Candela Obscura, have been asked at 10 this morning to meet with your newly appointed lightkeeper, Dr. Thomas Ravenwood, in the Hallowed Grounds coffee shop to receive an assignment that he would like all of you to work on. So given that you've been asked to meet at 10 a.m., I would like to ask all of you where you can be found at 9:50, just a few moments before. And we'll start with the one who might be the least immediately in the area, which is April. And please feel free to describe your character as well.
April, she is like early 20s something. She is like a fashionable little, like, what's the word for it? I'm gonna say it's like a little like Gibson Bouffant type thing. She has like a nice like fitted, it's not really quite corseted, but it's like a very fitted sort of like double-breasted like dress situation. It's not really like a flashy thing. She's like fashionable, but she's not trying to be super like outgoing. So I'm gonna say like it's like a nice like dark purple or something, some sort of like dark. You can't really tell what kind of color it is because it's almost black. She is. I'm going to be. She was expecting to go to class today. Over at the college, so she is somewhere between this coffee shop and campus because she was like walking to campus and then she'd almost gotten there and she was like, oh fuck, I gotta be at the other place. So now she's doing she's trying to do that thing where you're trying not to look like you just thought you were going somewhere. So she's like walking and then she's gonna take a long U-turn around so that it doesn't look like she was going in the wrong direction. That is currently where she is going. She's not a very tall person, by the way. She's like 5 flat. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
You're making your way in the
Yes.
most casual way
Yes.
that you can muster
Walking
back around.
briskly. Walking briskly, but not looking panicked is what we're going for.
I'm gonna honestly start this off and say, for very low stakes, but because I think it's fun, make a move roll
A
to
move
see
roll.
how effective this attempt to balance subtlety with speed goes.
It's a 4.
Mixed success, extremely fair. Um,
She's not good at this.
which would she be prioritizing if forced the choice? The subtlety of not looking like she has in fact made a mistake, or the speed of trying to not miss this 10 a.m. appointment?
It's gonna be speed.
So
Just
fair. You make your way through like several different alleyways and shortcuts at the price of several different like vendors or people on the street definitely kind of turning their heads to clock you rushing by with various semi-judgmental looks.
I pretend I don't see them. Whom's I don't know those people and they're never gonna see me again. I hope. I hope.
An extremely reasonable take. As you hustle along to get to this 10 a.m. appointment, Johnny, where are you?
Yes.
Yes!
Well, good old John is getting all prepped up at the coffee shop. Got his good old lucky ride going as you try to prep up the dishes. It's like kind of get the cups all nice. I was like nice and dry for the morning rush. Just like humming to himself in his own imaginary music in his head.
Similarly, at the same time, Sandhya, where are you? And
So
what are you looking
Cynthia, yeah, so Sandhya is standing at the till, taking orders, preparing drinks, giving them back or giving the drinks, um, taking the money from the customers with such a slight hand movement that it almost seems like it disappears. And then all of a sudden, there's now a drink in front of you. Um, and it may or may not be what you ordered, but it's definitely what you want. She has got black hair that's pulled into a bun, and it's got streaks in it of green, like copper, that's rusted or gotten that coppery, the greenish shine to it. So there are flakes of that in her black hair, that's in a bun. She's in a beaded top. Um, that is appropriate for a woman in her early 30s working at her coffee shop that she owns. And she's got like a cute little, what do you call it? An apron, cute little apron going on. And she just works very methodically and quickly.
every time that the little trick of a drink sort of almost appearing as if by magic is done, uh, you've gotten. I think you're used to it, but even more than normal this morning, you've gotten a lot of gasps and a round or two, a little round of applause from particularly impressed patrons. And the tip jar, even for just an hour or two into being open, is already looking pretty good. Both of you note.
And she sneaks a side glance at Johnny, who she's very fond of. He's looking really great with his like his um sleeves rolled up.
A little too tight apron on. He's like, I tried to wash it and it shrunk. I'm so sorry. he goes like
I may have given you the wrong instructions on how to clean it.
it's okay. It's okay. I understand. But it looks like we're doing very good on tips today. Wonderful job.
Thank you. You too.
Man, it's not on me. It's all on you today.
I think it's the magic of both of us working.
As the two of you are standing behind the counter, just kind of grinning at each other, the bell rings very brusquely as April enters, right in sync with the clock ticking to 10. Technically
Slams
not
the
late.
door open.
Oh, April's here. April's here.
April, how's my ticking time bomb today?
She's just suspiciously looking at them behind the counter. They're standing too close for her liking. It doesn't actually matter how close they may or may not be standing. They could be on opposite sides of the store, and it's too close for her liking. She doesn't like it. Whatever's going on here. Yeah,
April, perfect timing.
Yeah, it's where is Dr. Ravenwood? Do I see him?
Look around.
Right on your heels, April, as the clock ticks over to 10:01. So technically late. A man comes kind of bustling into the shop wearing a nice little cap, a formal purple jacket, holding kind of two binders and one book that looks very old, and the cover's kind of coming apart at the seams. And he, clearly out of breath, kind of comes in behind you and closes the door and walks up to the counter. Oh, hello. I'm so sorry. I'm just a minute late. There was there was a carriage accident on my way here, and goodness gracious.
It's really perfect timing. And she pushes forward the drink that he doesn't know he wants, but he needs.
He looks at it, looks up at you with kind of slight confusion. But I don't believe I put in an order.
It's on the house, dear.
My goodness. Thank you so much. You know just how to brighten up someone's morning. If all of you don't mind, we could perhaps meet in one of your back rooms or the storage room. He looks kind of around at the rest of the patrons.
Camille, could you please take over for us? Thank you.
Camille comes wandering over, gives Dr. Ravenwood a slightly inquisitive glance, but then looks back at you and gives a little nod and a bow and just, yes, absolutely. I'll let you know if anything comes up or if the building burns down, but other than that, please.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time, but let's hope that was the last time.
It was one mistake. I'm so sorry.
A few minutes later, all of you have been brought into what does the back room of Sandhia's coffee shop look like?
So I think there are 4 booths. Each one is separated by a little curtain. So we push back one of the curtains, and it is like nice mahogany and a deep purple velvet that is on the booth area, and then a mahogany table that we all slide into.
Perfect. And do all of you bring drinks with you? As this is, I must ask, as this is a delightful coffee shop, do you have a drink or a food of choice that you snack on as you have this lovely meeting?
Johnny has his signature chai tea and a nice croissant.
Sandhya only drinks water while she's working, so she has the water, but she pushes over an apple tart and a drink over to April.
She accepts it with a suspicious glance. Nibbles very like she's actually very thankful. It's like an Earl Grey lavender. It is her favorite kind of tea. So, but she's like begrudgingly sipping it. She doesn't want to look like she enjoys this. She is never told you this is, I mean, it's your specialty to know. It's your specialty to like divine this. She doesn't know how you figured it out. She doesn't like it. She doesn't like. She likes the tea. She doesn't like.
She doesn't like being seen.
Like,
No.
don't perceive me and what I like in my tea.
No.
The tea is a shorthand for the mortifying ordeal of being known.
Mm-hmm. But it is an Earl Grey lavender, and I guess like an apple tart of some sort.
Dr. Ravenwood has already almost finished the beverage, which Sandhya, you would know, is possibly one of the most caffeinated that you make. This man is tired and runs around a lot and has a lot on his plate, but he already seems to be perking up. And there's only a little bit left when he puts it down and goes, "Well, lovely to see you all. I know I've met with you a time or two before, but once again, on behalf of Candela Obscura, it's lovely to see you. First things first, how have all of you been? How is the shop? How are your studies?"
She doesn't want to talk about class. It's just like, ugh, I should be in class right now. Could we? I'd like to get to afternoon classes if possible.
In that way of when well-meaning adults politely are like, "How's school?" To somebody that does not want to talk about how school is going.
Yeah, it's class. I go to class, which I'm not doing now.
Right. Well, my apologies that we're keeping you from that. I will actually momentarily be sending all of you back towards Briarbank, if that's any consolation. So hopefully you can return to your studies soon. The issue that Candela would like you to look into today. In recent weeks, you may not have heard about it because the college is trying to keep it very distinctly under wraps. But there have been 2 deaths, unfortunately, in Briargreen. One was an adjunct professor and one was a guest lecturer. So both individuals that are affiliated with the college. Both seem to have been found in one of the nearby parks, and their bodies were taken by one of the coroners for examination, but so far it is unclear as to the cause of death. Now, that on its own would not be enough to warrant Candela's investigation. New Fair is quite a large city, and unfortunately we do have many mysterious deaths all the time. However, there's also been some reports that have been sent to us recently, sightings of an urban legend known as a Mr. Nightfall. Now, this is not a phenomenon that any of us have on permanent record in Candela, but we've certainly heard the rumors before. It's some sort of urban legend of a man wearing all black who is some form of omen of death, harbinger of doom, that type of thing. We've never had any confirmed reports that this is some sort of magical phenomena, but we do keep track of these things. And the confluence of those sightings and these bodies seems to warrant some investigation. We would like to send the 3 of you up to Briargreen to look into the matter and see if you can determine how these individuals died and if there's any source of bleed or magic affiliated with it, and to contain it or neutralize it if it poses some sort of threat. And he closes the binder that he's been sort of looking through papers as he's explained this, and looks around to all of you. Is there anything about that I can clarify? Any questions you may have?
Now, as you know, on our last mission, my bleed detector was run over by a cart. Do you have one by any chance?
My goodness, let me check. I should have one somewhere. And he starts digging through his coat. So sorry about that bleed detector, by the way.
You
Was for a
know,
noble cause, but still.
absolutely.
He pulls out a little pendant with a green gem on it, kind of loops it up and hands it across and goes, I think this is the only one I have on me at the moment, but this should be able to serve the same purposes. Not quite as fancy as the last one, I'm afraid, but...
Oh, well, yes, the last one was definitely a prince of its kind, but this will do. Is there anybody that we should be speaking to first?
We're not entirely sure exactly where to begin with this. We would have further leads if the college administration, and you see his face kind of darkens for a bit, his brows get a little bit lower with fury. The college administration is being rather reticent about the matter of the deaths. I cannot quite call them murders, but they're deaths for certain. They have not looped in the periphery very notably, but they have been keeping the area rather shut down. They're not letting people in without a formal college ID or otherwise clear proof of residence. So it's become a little bit tricky to get information. I would recommend asking around the general area, perhaps anyone who saw anything inside the park, or at the coroner or medical offices if you're looking for a place to start.
And what were the names of the two individuals?
The adjunct professor was named Branson Holmes, and the guest lecturer was Miss Aurora Clune.
I recognize either of these people.
Yeah, I think that you would certainly recognize. You've definitely heard the name of the adjunct professor. Perhaps have not directly been in a class with, but you've heard of Professor Holmes. Can confirm that that is somebody that has been around the college for a couple years at least. The guest lecturer you saw posters for recently, and depending on whether April might have attended this or not, you would have attended. You could have attended a lecture with her earlier in this week.
What do I know? Like what general department they would have been?
That was in matters of history and specifically legal history and the justice department. What she was there lecturing for.
I would not have gone to that. I am a comp lit major. I do not care.
Fair and reasonable.
History and justice? Nah, I'm good.
There's a lot of college events and nobody's got the energy for all of them.
No.
Well, it seems if they are only letting students or people with student IDs or people who live around the place in. April, darling, what is your last name?
Christensen.
Okay. Johnny, are you interested in becoming Mr. Christensen?
Of course.
Yes.
No.
And
Don't
I
you
will
worry,
play.
daughter. I would not embarrass you.
I will play the role of the lovely Mrs. Christensen.
I think that's gonna be lovely.
We're so excited to see the school that you attend.
Back to my old stomping grounds.
Dr. Ravenwood is just grinning, very has somehow, despite the fact that it should not be hard to notice, quite genuinely is like, oh, that sounds like a lovely idea. That sounds very fun.
Yeah, totally fun.
I'm like, don't you worry. It's like trying to take a long sip of his tea. I promise we won't embarrass you.
We'll do nothing to embarrass you. And she puts on the bleed detector necklace.
Okay, let's get this over with. She's also like doing the math on everybody's ages here and how this just does not line up.
It doesn't. As Johnny's 27.
Listen, all I can tell you is that we age gracefully.
Like they say, Black don't crack.
April doesn't have a better plan, so she's gonna go with this. There's no.
I'll get my dad jokes ready.
I'm into this. To make that clear.
Then I will head out for the moment, but I can meet all of you back here towards the end of the day if you return with any information, or if you need longer, just send me a message.
Sounds good. It's always wonderful to see you, Dr. Ravenwood.
I see you, Doc.
Gives you both a little tip of his hat. A pleasure to see all of you as well. Please stay safe. Take care of yourselves. If something dangerous happens, do your best to not die, I suppose. That's always the goal.
It's a nice goal to have.
Well, we haven't done it yet, so our track record is really great.
You're doing a good job.
I guess.
He goes to head out of the room and then kind of stops and turns back and goes, "Oh, additionally, one more thing. Seeing as you're a very new circle, just to keep in mind as you work, I still have your paperwork to finish filling out to formally register you, and I am looking for some form of circle name, a collective way to refer to all three of you. So at some point within the next day or so, perhaps by the end of the mission, if you happen to come up with one, please feel free to let me know, and I'll write it down."
Well, for now, you can put in pencil the Christensens.
Oh, I love that.
He makes a note in his paper as he's walking out of the coffee shop, and you hear the bell go ding ding as he leaves.
It shows that we're a family.
Okay.
Sips his chai tea again. Be like, did you know chai tea is tea? That's what I heard on the streets.
April is getting up and she's gonna start taking things out of the display and putting it into her bag. Just brazenly, like snacks for the road.
Like pastries and things from the shop.
Eye contact while she does it.
Camille is kind of just not staring at you confrontationally, but is kind of just looking at you and nodding slowly as this happens, with the specific vibe of not planning to fight this battle.
Sandhya, he makes eye contact with Camille and says, "What daughter wants, daughter gets."
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, ma'am. As all of you finish procuring your snacks for the road, as you should, how are the three of you planning to get to Briar Green? You can walk the rather long walk, but you can also take a carriage or the train system sort of up towards that part of town.
I think the carriage would probably be the best.
Yeah, carriage.
Delightful. You are able to hail a carriage without too much trouble, and a few moments later are all kind of jostling together from side to side as you go neighborhood. If you are doing as you're heading up there.
Well, April, is there any of your professors that you would like us to meet?
I'd rather we avoid everybody.
I kind of wanted to go see my old Professor Plum. He's a pretty nice guy.
Oh, wonderful. This will be so great.
I feel like we have to avoid as many people as possible, because the more we talk, the more scrutiny this gets.
Right, the mission.
Right.
I was thinking, could you perhaps, with your student ID, question the administration a little bit?
I
Maybe
could.
posing as a journalist, maybe writing for the literary magazine.
Maybe, or I could just be a very annoying concerned student about, you've blocked off part of thing. It's so unsafe here. Like, blah, 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 that kind of thing. Administrators love it when you tell them how unsafe you feel on campus.
Amazing. Perfect genius.
Yes.
She
You
gets
ready?
that from you.
Like, I think he gets it from you.
Would I know what part of campus is closed off? I assume there's some sort of like notices put up or something.
Yeah, give me I think that'd be a focus roll.
Focus.
Focus.
Is there a way I can help and
Oh,
stuff since I
good.
know the right campus?
Yes, I'm going to say that if you wish to lend a drive from focus, you are able to.
Oh, that's even worse. So one and who's
Oh
Wait,
dear.
how do I give my gilded die?
You can't give your gilded die specifically, but you can just give a d6, which
Okay.
then ups the number of d6s that are being rolled.
I see.
The gilded is just for you.
The gilded is just for me.
so
Okay.
bad. She's not been paying attention.
Though I will also say that your circle at character creation, if I recall correctly, you've got the ability where you have 3 essentially extra d6s, which I believe are gilded, if I recall correctly, that any of you can take for an assignment.
That's right.
If you're in dire straits. So that's a 1 and 2 2.
So 1 and 2 twos. She has been seeing these flyers and just not looked at them.
Yeah, it's been a busy week. There's been a lot going on. This hasn't been super publicized, so you're not quite sure. You suspect you could probably figure it out if you go to Briar Green and look around, but
It's like one of those like, oh, we're doing like lawn maintenance over here, so we close it. She just has not.
Universities are always under construction.
There's always something going on.
As all of you feel the bumpy cobblestones of sort of the sidle change to a much smoother path for the next couple minutes as you enter Briar Green. And the carriage stops right in front of a very high fenced iron gate that is one of the main entrances into both the neighborhood and the college. Briarbank is interwoven with sort of a single street of shops and some off-campus residences, as it were. And as you get out of the carriage, you can see that by this gate, which is normally just open for people to come in and out, except, past midnight, very late at night, that April, you note there is now somebody there in a more formal sort of college administration suit minding the gate and checking IDs as people come in and out.
Oh, gosh. I'm going to walk very confidently at the gate. I'm not going to take my ID out in prep. I'm going to walk very confidently toward the gate as if I have not noticed this and see what happens.
As you get close enough that you're coming close to passing through it, the person wearing like a nice gray formal outfit just kind of steps easily into your path. However,
I don't know how I feel about that.
once you say that, you see a little bit of concern start to leak into like the doorman's eyes at specifically at specifically your concern. And I'm going to say go ahead and make a sway roll for me. Yeah, both of you can make sway rolls for me if you'd like.
Okay, so I can do it with a gilded die, but I don't have to, right?
Your sway is gilded, correct?
Yes.
We've got the whole time filled in. Yes, then you always roll with one of your dice gilded, which just means that if that one has the highest result or a result you wish to take, you can take it. There is no disadvantage to rolling with a gilded die. It can only get you good things.
Okay. Well, and since I have 2 dots, I roll 2 dice.
Yes, 2d6. And just make sure
Okay.
you know which one of them is gilded before you go.
All right. Well, that is a 2.
So convincing.
You see that this man looks almost like he's about to maybe get a little bit defensive and confrontational when you mention not feeling sure that the college can protect April. But then Johnny mentions the note about that's a typical lie, and he kind of starts to back down just a little bit, looking a little bit cowed. And turns specifically to April and goes, did you have that ID, please?
Yes. I've been waiting while you're hands it over.
Takes it and inspects it, kind of cursory and quickly, and then sighs and hands it back. All right. Please feel free to head on in. All visitors must be off campus by the evening.
Like a time, evening, it's very broad.
8 p.m. sundown would be wonderful. Thank you so much. And just to have a record, you are
April Christensen. You just read it.
April Christensen, right? And you are her parents. Phenomenal. Thanks so much. I'll put that down in the visitor records.
Great. Thank you.
He kind of looks very put out as he goes back to guarding the gate. But the three of you are able to walk right in.
Okay. One. I don't know. All right. I guess it's true. I guess we should look for more people like them walk in the direction that they don't want us going in. Or maybe, I don't know.
I'll look for a sign that might say, don't go this way. Peek out.
Would I remember where or be able to find a flyer for where Klum was lecturing? And oh god, do we know what park they were found in? I don't think we asked that.
You did not ask that, but I'm going to say everybody can give me a survey roll for those respective objectives to see what you recall.
So I have no dots in survey, so I roll 2 and take the lower.
Correct.
That's a 5.
Hey!
Oh god, I keep rolling so bad. That's a 4. I'm just like so stressed. She's just so stressed out about this entire situation that it's like.
Would you like me to roll?
Yes. It's a 5, a 4.
What was it again? I had to refresh.
Survey.
She's just.
And if you don't have any dots in that, go ahead and roll 2 and take the ladder.
Okay. 5.
Nice. April, I think, a little bit flustered. A little bit flustered from your parents nearby, a source of great stress. Whether or not they be your parents, this is somehow still a source of great stress. You're taking a little bit longer to kind of put things away and get yourself together. But Johnny and Sandhya, I think that the two of you actually straight up just see a campus map nearby. I think that's what those 5s acquire for you. You see a campus map, and specifically note that near to you you've just walked in through the front gates, and there's essentially the main singular street of sort of off-campus buildings, which encompasses a couple different shops, some sort of medical services, and a school store. And then it opens out onto Thornvale Park, which is by far the biggest park area, a long sort of lane of green with a lot of trees, overshadowed, a lot of it's the only place that's more than a little square of green, and the only one that you can envision potentially bodies being found in or something.
Shall we take a walk in the park?
Indeed, we shall. And then Johnny holds up his arm. Y'all look like a
Okay.
lovely couple.
She takes it and we walk. Actually, you know what? We're definitely going to take April, and each of us is going to put an arm through April.
Like, come on.
Touch
Come on,
me.
darling. It's going to be just fine.
Just gonna like disentangle herself and follow.
And I will kind of fiddle with the bleed detector so that we can get a sense of what it's telling us.
Ooh, excellent. You would like to just use the bleed detector. Would you like to use it just as you start to walk about or as you are in the park?
As we begin to walk about.
Excellent. As you begin to walk about, the three of you head down the main street of this college area. It is relatively busy. It's now maybe 11 or 12 midday. And so students have started to wake up. Not earlier than this, but just now. Everybody was sleeping in very distinctly. And so there's a lot of people milling about, enough that the three of you don't particularly stand out as the only people around. As you walk, first of all, April, it comes to you a little bit later that you're relatively sure that Aurora Clune, the lecturer, was slated to lecture in Harlow Hall, which was a smaller venue, but most presently as one that is right next to Thornvale Park, the main park that you're all going to visit. And that her lectures for most of this week have been happening at night. So she was over in that area. For the bleed detector, I'm going to say give me a sense roll as you kind of just start to mess with that, just walking around to see if you pick up anything particular of note.
Okay, that is a 5 again.
A 5. On a 5, as you make your way down the street, you're not able to pinpoint anything specifically. But you do get a couple wandering around a teardrop shape. That's what the shape is called. I was going to say an oval, and I was like, that's not. As you're in the presence of bleed. And there are a few times just walking around this main street that you get a little spark or two of gold before it recedes again. You can't pin it to anything in particular, but there is something outside of just the park. The three of you are able to get in about 10 or 15 minutes to the iron gates of the park, and you note that the portions of this area seem to be normally gated off. Not the whole thing, but specific areas in the midsection to stop people from just walking in, or you suspect perhaps, actually April would know this, perhaps more to stop students, say, drunkenly driving carriages in or something, than anything else. But at the main gate, which is normally open and not particularly guarded, there's somebody else wearing very drab grays of the college who is sitting and reading a book and looking very bored. But clearly guarding one side of the park from people entering, at least that way. What would the three of you like to do?
April will take your lead.
Why is it my lead? That's what she says out loud. Well, we just want to get in, right?
Yes.
Do I know if there's like a way to sneak into the park that's nearby, or like how many how many gates are there?
There's a couple.
Mm.
There's the two main ones at either end of this thoroughfare that just cuts down the center of the park. And you suspect those are the ones that are being blocked off. It is, however, possible to kind of just climb into the park, but it
Yeah.
requires a little bit of hiking up some tree roots, kind of
Yeah.
making your way through some thorns and banks. It's not impossible. It's just not like a thrillingly easy way for most people to get in, but it's certainly there.
The problem is if we could always distract the guy, but like then one of us is going to be stuck out here, and that is less than ideal. Unless, I mean, one of us could always just distract him and then hop over the gate. It's a little hard though. We could always just walk confidently at the gate and hope that he doesn't see us. That is also an option.
I figured your ID would get us in again.
I feel like it won't. You know, because this is the part they don't want us hanging out in. This is where the dead bodies are. Now, we could try that, but if he doesn't let us in, then it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
Then we can go out. We can go in the side way if that doesn't work.
And this is true.
I can go in swinging.
I have an idea.
Yes.
What if you say your dog has escaped into the park?
My dog.
Mm-hmm.
Do I look like a dog person?
More like a cat.
I feel like no. I don't like small animals.
Well, this
They don't know that,
this
though.
Isn't
This could be
you
a dog.
talking. It's other April.
This feels very flimsy of an excuse. My dog escaped into the murder forest. Yeah.
Well, I mean
you
dogs love bodies.
You shouldn't know what's going on in your campus. You don't know that your dog is gonna run away to the murder force.
Dogs are just attracted to murder sites. I feel like that's the story we're going with.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're attracted to dog bones.
This is now canon to New Fair.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No. This is going in the
This
new.
is going in. Don't worry, I'll be here for backup.
Oh god. Oh gosh. Okay. I don't think April's gonna go with that, but she is going to walk confidently toward the gate and hope that whoever this is just does not see them walking at the gate.
Now, given that this is the guard that is specifically like deep in a book and seems to be a fairly boring position to be in this morning. Murders aren't happening now. I'm going to say make a hide roll for me or a move roll. I'll actually let that be your choice. Hide if you're trying to walk with sneakiness. Move if you're trying to just be the fastest you've ever been.
Are all three of us are doing that?
If anyone who's going to try this tactic is welcome to.
Okay.
Oh god, I'm rolling so bad this entire time. It's a 3.
Oh my god.
That is
And that's a 5 on my hide.
Nice. 5 on hide.
6 on hide.
Oh my god.
Doing a 3 on move. I'm just walking fast. She has like those little like heeled like Oxfords on, or in my head like it catches on a root or something.
Yeah. For the two of you that are doing hide, do you think you would also going in the main gate, or are you trying to kind of come around the side in that case?
I think we're gonna go in the main gate, and we're just gonna let April distract with her terrible move roll.
I'm just gonna eat shit.
I think that 5 and the 6, the way that looks is that honestly, I mean, I haven't seen that much Looney Tunes, but the only thing that comes to my mind is a little bit Looney Tunes style is that, like, looking over this guard's shoulder as they're very deep in their book, um, we see the two of you, one after the other, just like slide on in, and then comes April at the back, fully wiping out, and the guard, who looks younger than the previous one, kind of squeaks with shock and just goes, oh my goodness, are you okay? Also, you're not allowed to be in. I'm so sorry.
Ow!
Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Are you bleeding?
No.
No, you're not bleeding, or no, you're not okay.
No, don't touch me.
Sorry. You're not allowed to enter. I was told to say that. But you look like you're doing kind of bad. Are you? I already asked that.
No, why am I not allowed?
Something was found here last night. Somebody had an accident or something, I think. And we're supposed to keep people away because students get gossipy and panic about things like bodies. And I wasn't supposed to say that. Nah, I wasn't supposed to say that part. No, there's none of those. They're not here.
Oh, then I should be able to walk through.
No, not that either.
She's like
but
looking,
not because of the bodies that aren't here.
She's like kind of looking in her peripheral. Like she knows that if she looks in a particular direction, this person is also going to look in that direction. So she's trying to look in her peripheral because she did not see where the other two went when she hit the ground. It was just pavement. So she's like trying to figure out how far these other two, well, like where are they, and like whether they.
Follow-up question for the two of you: have you just kept walking into the park joyfully? Completely valid answer. Say yes.
Nah, I think Johnny would try to stay back and should at least try to get April there once you notice.
We'll hide. There's like 2 trees nearby, and each of us hides behind a tree,
peeking through, watching April.
I'm 100% going to let you do that. Absolutely.
Can I make like a survey roll to see if I can?
Yeah, give me a survey roll.
I'm not sure what I'm accomplishing here. Neither does April. She's trying. Oh god, it's another 3.
Change dice.
Yeah,
I did. It's.
You're getting out the bad rolls now.
You put them under the moon real fast.
Put them under the moon real fast.
Like I live on the other side. Like, are you gonna make me walk around on on like this, my sprained ankle?
I'm so sorry. That would be kind of a far route around. I'm really not supposed to let you go in, but you look injured. Oh,
It's so bad. I think it might be broken. I don't know.
I can walk with you through the.
Aren't you? You're supposed, and then let other students come in. What are they going to do if they see you and you're not here? Well, just let me through. Nobody will know. I will walk very fast on
your ankle.
No, it'll be fine.
Won't you injure yourself more? That sounds terrible.
It's fine. I'm totally sure that it just needs to be like walked out.
Okay, as long as you are sure that this will neither aggravate your injury nor.
It's fine. She's already sliding out of the conversation,
and you hear from Ephraim behind you, just just please stick to the path and don't touch anything.
Yeah.
Or yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And you just start powering through.
Oh God, fuck. It actually it hurts. It hurts actually.
Fuck. April, you did a fantastic job.
Oh my god.
We're so proud of you.
We gotta go.
Yeah, okay.
I don't. Don't. No. Okay. Yeah. No. Okay. Shouldn't have. No. April was actually like real close to being, and then like you said like five-legged centipede. She's like, never mind. I take it back. I take it back. This is almost. She's like, this is almost a nice thing, and then it wasn't. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Find dead bodies or something. I don't know. Absolutely not. We're so bad at this. We're new.
Okay, cool.
The three of you head down the main gravel thoroughfare of this park, and about 5 minutes of semi-brisk walking because of the ankle in, you start to approach a tall monument in the center of the path, which goes pretty high up into the air to like high heights of the tops of the trees, and it is made of sort of spiraling pieces of stone. The base that they're on seems rather new and just like nice sandstone, but the pieces on top of it that have been placed here are much darker stone, sort of jagged, going up into the air. And you can see as the three of you approach from far away, there is a woman wearing a long green dress, um, with a bag over her shoulder, clearly containing some sort of a lot of pockets, and a notebook. And she is walking around the monument and also looking off into the bushes and the trees and writing things down, very obviously out in the open. Uh, and she kind of turns to look at the three of you as you approach with some interest.
Any bleed from the bleed detector?
As you start to approach, uh, you look down at it as the monument comes into view and see a little spark of gold, and then get a couple steps closer, maybe 30 or 40 feet, and the necklace is completely changed color. Uh, and as you get even a little bit closer and step into kind of over that gravel line into this space, you hear a little clicking sound and look down to see that right at the top of the gem, part of the bleed detector has started to break.
Johnny, April. This might be faulty. It seems to be cracking. I think it's that lady in green.
Do I recognize this one at all?
Actually, that's actually a great question. Yes, I believe you would. I'm not going to make you roll for that. You recognize this woman. You've seen this woman around in the medical offices of the campus. This is somebody who's been working with essentially like the nurse's office or the doctor's office for Briarbank. And as the three of you get closer, and Sandia, you say that, uh, the woman to the other two, the woman in green kind of looks up a little unperturbed, not particularly bothered, and just goes, "Oh, the bleed's not from me. My apologies, though."
We're very proud of our daughter.
She kind of looks over at April, and you can tell she's trying not to laugh.
April's like kind of shrinking into the back line. Like she doesn't like this. She doesn't like this vibe.
The grass, and Dr. Wanderly does kind of motion to you and go, "I would be careful of stepping too far off the path. to my office for further study, but I can help all of you if there's any help that you need in your investigations.
And your affiliation is with...
Not with your organization, though I'm not hostile to them either. I'm an old friend of Dr. Ravenwood's. We ran in some of the same circles a while back before we both left our prior organization for ideological differences.
Excuse us for a second, and we like huddle. Dr. Ravenwood did not mention this lady.
I mean, we also didn't ask a whole lot of questions, to be fair.
But wouldn't he have said that this person is probably going to be here and that we could use her help?
I mean, we also didn't. I mean, he's very, scattered. April's keeping an eye on her.
She's watching all of you with... she's not attempting to disguise it if it's something that you want to disguise. Watching all of you with like a very almost teacherly kind of amusement of watching kids gossip in the back of class.
Yeah, we're not being very subtle about this. To be fair.
And she's still flipping through her notes and glancing up at the monument a couple times. She fully takes her notebook and like flips it around to show you. And you can see there's one page where she's written down essentially drafts of 2 coroner's reports. And you see one is for a Professor Branson Holmes and one is for a Miss Aurora Clune, the 2 people that you were told have both turned up dead. And she's noted that both seem to have been killed rather viciously by something that did not seem quite human in origin. The wounds did not seem human in origin. The other page is a note on Monument of Shards that she's written down as origin location of both bodies that have been found. But she doesn't have any further filling information for that. And when she notices you looking at that page, she says, once again, I'm not a bleed expert.
I would like to use Uncanny Eye. And I would like to spend 1 intuition to ask well, you can tell me if you've already told us it, but what here doesn't work the way it appears?
Absolutely. What does you kind of looking around for the answer to this question in game look like, first of all? Like what do you do to kind of investigate as you get this answer, which I will reveal to you in a moment?
I guess I'm going to, while Johnny is talking up Dr. Wanderley, I am going to start pacing around this shard monument. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
As you pace around, you do one circuit of the monument and then a second. It's maybe 12 or 1 in the afternoon now. And you note the differing pieces of stone and the way that they kind of swirl around each other and intersect. You can feel the bleed detector on your chest is kind of growing warm now from this proximity, and there's a few more cracks in it, and it seems to have essentially maxed out its reading. It can't tell you anything further. As you look closer, You think for a second that between these pieces of stone, you can almost see kind of